We're going to take a look at the 4 major common mistakes you're making when it comes to supply and demand zones in the market. And we're going to start off with forcing zones where they don't exist. What I mean by this, you are just looking to trade off supply and demand zones when you really shouldn't be looking to use those as areas to be trading off in the first place. And this all comes back to understanding what we went through on a previous video with structure in the market and that bigger picture. So here we have a typical trending market with a swing structure. So we have a push to downside, swing pullback, continuation, swing pullback, and eventually another continuation, another swing pullback, and a continuation. Now, when I go through this, showing you this right now, it's probably going to see, okay, it's simple. Yeah, I can see that swing structure. We have some smaller structure within. This is understanding you're forcing those zones to trade from. What you're seeing here are, as we see the pullback, you're starting to identify right here is a break of structure. Now it's a smaller structure break, but you're seeing this area of demand. Now it's not necessarily a demand zone that's always going to work. Very often when you see these pullbacks, you're going to be very choppy in price and you're going to get thrashed about between these areas. So this is an area where you can see we drop down, we remove that demand area straight away, and then we push up and we break structure again. But before this, you identify this break to downside. So you look to take a trade off this area of demand, it's failed. You then see a break back to downside, leaving this area of supply. Price pushes back up and that trade fails. And yet again, you see another break of structure to the upside. And what does that leave? That leaves this area of potential demand. And yet again, that trade fails. And you see another push back to the downside. So you're just marking up and forcing those zones to take a trade from. Now, what you need to be doing at this point is looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is this is your last swing to downside. This would have been your area of potential supply you'll be looking to trade from. Why? Because the bigger picture is showing you this is your major swing move. There's your pullback to come to supply. You're just forcing out every single move you're seeing on that pullback as an area of supply and demand. And that's not what you want to be doing. You want to be looking for those major points. Now, again, when we see this break of structure here to downside, we see a nice push to downside, break of structure, leaves this area of supply. But you might see on the pullback again, a higher low is formed and we break to the upside, leaving this area here of demand. Now it's an area of demand that sits inside discount. Now we can identify we don't actually come back to that demand. We pull back to the supply and we want to run all the way back down and we take structure once again. But if you're looking to buy off that demand, yet again, you're going to have another losing trade. Why? Because you're forcing a zone to work for you and it's not going to. So again, we have another break of structure, valid break. The larger, the higher time frame, okay, the bigger picture is bearish here. Why would you be looking to take trades of all these smaller zones? We're looking for another pullback to this trading range into this area of supply. But you see the market pushing up, we push back down, we break out. Just go back off here. And this, in fact, okay, this is not a valid supply. Let me just quickly move this. This would be an area of demand. Okay, so you see this break here to the upside as an area of demand. So we have this breaking up. Okay, we pull back, break up again straight away, leaving this area of demand. Now when the market comes back into that demand, it pushes straight through again. Why is it doing this? Because you're not looking at the bigger picture, which is what? This is your area of supply on this swing pullback. Again, you're forcing a zone of demand to work for you. And it's not going to do that against that higher time frame. It's important that you always do look at the higher time frame and look at that bigger picture. And don't force a zone to look for a trade. Not every supply and demand zone is going to work for you. You need to be doing that correct analysis, looking for which zones are the best ones to be trading from. So that is understanding you don't want to be forcing a zone. Now, the next big common mistake I'm seeing is ignoring the context and the trend direction. So very much what we just went through, okay, you're just marking up any supply and demand zone, but now you understand that the trend here is bullish. Okay, we're breaking structure. We're starting to continue to break higher, leaving new demand zones. where you're looking for a trade, but you're ignoring the trend direction of a larger time frame of the bigger picture, which is a bearish pullback into supply and a continuation lower to break this low. So if you're looking to buy off these areas of demand, then you're going to have losing trades because you're not looking at the bigger picture. Just like we went through on the previous area. Now, if you're finding this is happening to you right now with your supply and demand, do leave a comment below and let everybody know that this is happening to you and you're going to be able to change it now, understanding these concepts. So just like we saw here on this pullback, okay, we have this area of demand where the market's basically going to run straight through those areas. And again, down here, we see a pullback, a higher low is formed, and a push higher to this area of supply. And you're ignoring the larger swing here is to the downside. You're looking for that pullback, and you're seeing this as an area of demand to trade from with this breaker structure. Now, this breaker structure actually comes into the previous video where we went through structure, and you're looking to mark this incorrectly, trade it incorrectly, because you're creating this higher low. And when the market comes back, yeah, okay, we have a bounce. You're thinking, all good, you're in the trade. You look to run this high with a continuation of the bullish move, and straight away it pushes down and you get stopped out for another losing trade. More frustration, more losses in the market, revenge trade. This is not what you want to be doing. So never ignore the context of the trend direction of the higher time frame, which is this movement here. Always look at the bigger picture, always trade with the bigger picture. When that shifts, then you can start looking for this smaller trends in the market. That is the first two common mistakes that I see many people making. But the next common mistake is probably one of the biggest ones I find most traders, when they start trading supply and demand, are making. And that is marking their zones too wide or too narrow. So how can this affect you with your trading? If you've got your zone, let me just get my marker pen again, too wide like this, your risk to reward, okay, if we see an entry here on a pullback to this area of supply, your risk to reward is under 1-to-1, and that is just not good risk and money management. Whenever looking to take a trade, you want to be looking at least a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Now you can mark them out as well too tight. So you have too narrow of a zone where price comes back up and it fails to trigger you in and you have a nice trade missed. Now that can lead to even more frustration, and very often traders find missing a trade is harder to deal with than having a losing trade. Especially when you see that trade would have gone on to profits in the market. When you lose a trade, you were wrong. But when you miss a trade and you were right and you didn't capture that trade, that will hit your emotions even harder. Make sure you're not marking your zones too wide or too narrow. The best way to get around this is to use this concept I'm now going to share with you. Look for where the market comes from that swing high. Let's take this as our swing high. Okay, and this is what we're seeing. You want to be looking at where the market makes that push out. So this is our last bullish candle. This bearish candle is where we see the push to downside. This is classed as our pivot zone of supply and demand. If you stick with the same zone over and over again, you're going to find better results. So I like to mark my zones of supply like this. Now demand would just be the reverse. Now it can be a bearish or bullish candle head, doesn't need to be a bullish candle, but very often you're going to find it is a bullish candle. With this drop down, this is going to create your pivot area of supply at this area. Now that's where you'll be marking out your supply of the pivot zone, okay, and where you're going to find very often you're going to get an entry. And that is the best way to look at marking your zones so you don't risk missing the trade or having too wide a stop loss and not getting enough profit out of the trade. That's the third common mistake, and one of the most common mistakes I find many traders do with their supply and demand. Let's look at the final common mistake in today's video. That is failing to combine zones with market structure. Now, perhaps you haven't seen the first video in this playlist covering the market structure. Most of the concepts in that is going to help you understand why we must use market structure first before those supply and demand zones. But I'm going to go through here the common mistake many of you may be making with your supply and demand, marking them up incorrectly or not even looking at market structure. When we're looking at our areas of structure, we need to be looking at our major swings in the market, our higher time frames, the overall picture. Now, if we just look at the zones marked here, yes, there's going to be 2 zones marked here, or 3 zones actually, which would have worked. But 2 zones are your major zones you should be looking to trade from. Why? I'll go through in a moment. First, the common mistake most people are making. When we see this break of structure, okay, you may not even be looking at the break of structure. You just see that price has moved away, leaving this area of demand. You're going to look to buy off that demand. Next, again, we see another push up, leaving another area of demand you can look to trade from. That fails, you have a losing trade. You then see price pushing to the downside, leaving this area of supply. Okay, so that's a valid supply. Then we pull back, we don't come into that supply, we break back lower, leaving this area of supply. Price breaks this move here to downside, another losing trade at this area of demand. Okay, so you're not combining structure correctly with your supply and demand zones. Then we see a push up, breaking this structure. That's going to leave an area of demand here. We have a pullback, another break to the upside here. Again, you're going to see another area of demand. You're looking to buy. Not understanding what you're doing, you're not correctly following that structure. You have a losing trade on the first zone, another losing trade on this zone here of demand as well, and a continuation lower. We see the market pulling back, higher low, break of structure. And again, this is not reading structure correctly, which you'll understand in the first video of this playlist. But here, another area of demand is created. And eventually later on, we see that fails, another losing trade. Now, perhaps this is something that happens to you over and over again when you're trying to use supply and demand zones. If it is, drop that comment below and let everybody know that this video is going to help you to understand where you've been going wrong. Now, again, we see another drop pushed away, leaving this area of demand. This demand fails, another losing trade. But now we see a shift back lower and we see price pushing lower, leaving this area of supply. Now, when it does come back to that supply, we have a reaction. Potentially looking for a continuation lower. You think you've got the trade right. Next step, pushes higher, another losing trade. More frustration, more losses, and this is going to really mess up your trading and mess your head with your emotions. Now, again, we see that break, pull back, break down again. This area of supply. This time when we pull back to that supply, it's a winning trade. Now you believe you've got this cracked. You understand we are bearish. We continue to push lower again, breaking through. You see this area of supply. When it comes back, it's another losing trade. And again, you're standing there and understanding why am I losing? Because you're not combining zones with market structure. You're just marking them all out on your chart and you're taking trades with every single zone. Now let's look at what you should be doing to avoid these mistakes. Looking at the overall picture, looking at those major areas of supply or demand. So your major swing here is this push to downside, pullback, break of structure. That's your major move. This is our major area of supply. You want to look to sell from that supply to run for the week low again. We see another break of structure. This is a strong high. And this is where we're looking for a sell from supply again. The market comes back. We have reaction and we fail. This could have been a losing trade. But now you understand a shift in structure because you're reading structure correctly with your supply and demand zones. This creates a new pivot zone down here of demand. So instead of looking to buy this demand or this demand, you're looking at this major swing move to the upside of demand. And that's where we eventually pull back into that demand for a run to eventually run that high. So you've basically taken 2 solid trades, reading market structure, combining it with your supply and demand zones. Now there are ways you can counter trend trade. There's ways to understand reading price. And that's why this trade here, okay, this area is potentially a good entry to take because we're still inside that premium as we're looking for the pullback on this swing move here towards areas of demand. So that's why we can take that trade. That's why that trade has worked out. Not a reason to take this sell or this sell off these supply because we understand we're looking for a major buy with the shift in that trend. So that's why it's important to use market structure with your supply and demand zones. To recap this video, always combine structure with supply and demand. Use that pivot zone so you're not marking zones too wide or too narrow. Help you be consistent in your trading. Don't ignore the context of the trend direction. Always make sure you're just trading with that major overall trend. And finally, as we went through the beginning of this video, don't force those zones. If they don't exist, they don't exist. Don't trade them. Look for those major ones that we went through just now previously at the end of this video. And make sure you watch the next video coming up in this playlist where we go through those common mistakes you're making when it comes to imbalances in trading.